You should be watching this video if you are a pastor or board member or a nonprofit leader wondering if paying for fundraising help really worth it. Now, I get it. Paying for help is risky. But what if the truth is paying for help actually saves you money and increases your growing? Now, during this video, I'll show you my ROI Reality Check Framework. You can see it right here. And it's in 3 steps. And the first step is the real cost of doing it yourself, doing it alone. The second step is we're comparing DIY versus expert ROI. And then finally, the third step, we will look at maximizing your investment so every dollar counts twice. And make sure you stick around to the end so you can pick up my ROI Reality Check Framework checklist. That's a mouthful. And what it'll do is it'll help you determine whether or not you are ready to work with a consultant. So it's really handy. And then also make sure you check out episode 4 here, because this is episode 5. Episode 4 is what a fundraising consultant really does. And oh yeah, a portion of this video is sponsored by Nonprofit Fundraising Management. So this brings us to section 1, the real cost. So let's break down ROI Reality Check Framework. And so the first, as I mentioned, is real cost. What does that mean? How is that broken down? Let's get into it. Most Black churches and nonprofit think fundraising is something that they can do alone. And they think that it's actually free when they do it themselves, but it's actually costing them in ways that they're not really paying attention to. Things like burnout, disengaged donors, lost opportunities. The list just goes on and on. You might actually think you're saving money, but you're actually costing organizations hundreds of thousands of dollars, likely millions of dollars, by trying to do it yourself without having expert help as well as additional resources. I guarantee you. You need someone who knows what they're doing, someone who puts systems in place, clear definitions of what they're trying to do, an overall plan of the direction that you're going, how much you can possibly raise, and the list goes on and on. If you don't have this expertise, or no one in your organization has this expertise, you are in trouble, especially if you're a Black church, because funds are going down. This is actually the first year in Giving USA. They published this list of donations throughout the United States. And this is the first year one sector of the nonprofit industry was down. And it was actually religion. Religion was the first section. It hasn't been down since 1976. This is the first year that it's been down since then. And there is a reason. It's because churches are not modernizing their fundraising. We are in trouble. And I know paying for help may feel risky, paying for fundraising help, but is it riskier than dying a slow death of getting fewer tithes and fewer offerings every week? I know you're seeing this. You have to do something different. And the only way you're going to do something different is by bringing in an expert who knows what they're doing, who knows how to plan, who knows how to ask for money, who knows how to thank a donor, who knows how to steward a donor. These are all things that are actually taught. It's a profession. For example, one of our clients who's now with us came to us 2 years ago, and they didn't hire us initially. And we did a quick little assessment, and we told them, hey, we think we can raise you an additional $350,000 based off of our assessment. And they didn't hire us because they thought that paying us was risky, and they thought that they could save the money and try to do it themselves. Well, they ended up losing a lot more than it would have cost them to work with us. And in our projections, we feel like they lost between $350,000 to $700,000 if we double it for each year. Now, we're not charging that amount of money. We charge maybe $5,000 to $7,000 a month. they would have earned that quickly if they had gone with us. So when they came to us, they were in the black 2 years ago. Now they're far in the red. They are just bleeding money, and we're not even sure if we're going to be able to help them. But we told them up front that this is going to be very risky now. And so had they gone with us earlier on, they would be in a far better situation. Their food services would be much stronger. Their youth program would be stronger. Their homeless insecurity or their home housing security would be much more stronger. But they just didn't go with this because they felt it was risky, and we get it. It's a new approach. It's a different way of doing things, but it really cost them because they just didn't have the fundraising expertise with them, nor did they have the resources they needed. And so they ended up losing money. They saved money by not paying us, but they ended up losing more money by not bringing in more money by having expert fundraisers. Now, this brings us to our first quick quiz, and it's a true or false. And remember, these are just for fun, and it's really just a memory device to help you remember what you watch here today. And here's our first one. It's a true and false. Doing your own fundraising without expert knowledge and expert resources is free if you don't have to pay anyone. True or false? Leave your answers in the comments below. But I'm going to give you the answer right now. The answer is obviously false because there are very real hidden costs by not bringing in expert help. So what if we compared how much money you're actually bringing in right now without expert help, without extra resources, compared to expert help and expert resources? What do you think about that? Let's get into that. Let's look at the differences. Now, this takes us to section 2, comparing DIY to expert ROI. And if you look right here on the side panel, you'll look at step 2, comparing DIY versus expert ROI. Expert fundraisers don't just help you raise money. They help you avoid expensive mistakes. They also take you towards opportunities that help you bring in money that you might not have seen before. And they increase your stewardship with your current donors. So they make your donors more engaged. And then finally, this is a big one, they bring in more resources for you. Because if they were just telling you what to do, you don't have the resources to do all the things that they're asking you to do. So they will bring in resources, people that can write your annual report, people that will do your monthly mailers, people that would do your newsletters, people that will write your thank you letters, all those things, people that will run your fundraising galas, all those things, they bring those to bear, whereas you don't have to add any additional people to your staff. They're not there to just teach you how to do it. They're there to roll up their sleeves and get in the muck. They also bring a team of individuals that are skilled in what they're doing. That could be writers, grant writers, that can be gala, special events coordinators, all those things that you don't have on your staff or have very little of, they bring that to bear. That's what a good consultant, team player works with you does. So you're not just paying for advice, you're paying for a team. Another example to that is we have another client that we're working with, and they are in Atlanta. And they thought that our price was high, but they went ahead and took the risk and brought us in. And we told them, looking at what they were doing, it was very similar to the other client. But we told them that we could raise $350,000 based off of what we saw off of our initial assessment. So we dug in, put together a case report, annual report, monthly mailers, thank you notes, started a giving tour, gratitude tour, got everyone involved. By the end of the year, we raised $350,000, and it cost them about $50,000 to work with us. That's a 600% increase, return on your investment. I mean, You just can't beat that. So just be careful when you think it's a good idea to try to do the fundraising yourself. If you don't have expert knowledge or extra resources with other individuals to help you do the things that you need to do, because it's just extremely difficult to do something you don't know how to do. It just is. And that's what fundraisers, coaching, and consultants do. They bring a plan, they put all the pieces in place for the plan to work, they execute the plan, they measure the plan, and they keep iterating and raising more and more money over time. And again, as I mentioned in another video, when you're properly functioning, it's 25 cents on the dollar. That means every dollar that you raised, it costs you 25 cents to raise that dollar. And you just can't beat that ROI. And can you imagine, trying to build a house by yourself and you've never built a house before? Can you imagine how hard that would be? Fundraising is no different. It's very technical. It's very time consuming. It's not common sense. It's not rocket science. Don't get me wrong, but it's not common sense. You need help. And this brings us to our second quick quiz, and it's multiple choice. Which is a better ROI? Just hope for donations, that's A, or B, a clear plan with coaching, trained volunteers, and more resources? Leave your answers in the comments below. And I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is obviously B. If you have expert help, if you have skilled volunteers who are trained, and you have additional resources to raise money, you're going to do it. It's you throw the ball up, it's going to come back down. That's just what's going to happen. But if you try to do something you've never done before, it's the odds of you succeeding are just not that likely. So this takes us to section 3, maximizing your investment. And as you can see on the side panel for our reality ROI check framework, the third step in the framework is maximizing your investment. That's what we're going to talk about. Paying for fundraising help or a consultant is only part of it. You have to maximize your investment. You have to do what the consultant is telling you to do. You have to follow up with donors. You have to keep them engaged. You have to reach out to them on a sometimes monthly, sometimes semi-monthly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes annually. But there is a way to maximize that investment. So in other words, you get one donation. You keep thanking that donor. You find out that the donor's interested in something else as well. You bring that in, and the donor also gives to that a larger gift. And you keep thanking that donor, and you keep growing that relationship over time. Finally, over the years or the decades, the donor passes away, and they leave you, your organization, in their will. And so they feel like they are making a significant difference in the community by your help, by you stewarding them over time. And that is maximizing your investment. This is not a one donation and see you later. It's not that at all. And that's what expert help teaches you. It shows you how to properly steward a donor. It shows you how to continue the relationship. I'll give you a quick example. I had a donor give us a $5,000 gift at a small event. The donor, it was a relatively large gift for the organization I was working with. Over the next 2 years, I sent the donor thank you letters. I sent letters from the beneficiaries who received the gift that it helped support. And the donor went dark. He went silent on me. He would not get back to me. And I kept, trying to be in touch with him. I sent him in a report. I'd invite him to events at the nonprofit, and radio silence for 2 years. Then finally, after 2 years, we ended up getting a call, And the call was from our headquarters, and they asked us, "Hey, do you know this particular donor?" And I was like, "Yeah, we know him. He and his wife gave us $5,000 for our project a few years ago." And they wanted to make sure that we knew them, and we did. And they told us that he actually gave us a gift of $500,000. $500,000. And it was because we were stewarding them. We didn't forget them just because they didn't respond to us. We sent them information. And then so finally I went down and I met with him and I said, "Hey," I got him aside. I said, "We didn't hear from you 2 years and then you end up giving us a very large gift. We certainly appreciate it. But why did you give us such a large gift after you gave us a $5,000?" He said, you know what he said to me? He said, "I enjoyed the relationship I had with you. The information you sent us over those years showed us that our investment was well done. And so we had some additional funding. And so we wanted to give some of it to you all." It was stewardship. And who's going to teach you that if it's not an expert? No, I didn't know how to do that before I became a fundraiser, but I knew to keep them on our radar, and they supported us significantly. So this is how you protect your investment. You keep stewarding the donors so that they grow, they become larger donors, more engaged, and that means your community programs flourish and your church continues to be successful. And that's the goal of a fundraising consultant. And the other day, maybe it was about a month ago, I ran into one of my colleagues that still works for the institution. And you know what he told me? He told me that particular donor had put that organization in their will. So who knows what that gift is going to look like if they gave us $500,000, cash. So that is a high return on investment. That is how you maximize your investment. You engage your donors. And who's going to show you how to do that if it's not an expert? Before we continue, let's have a quick word about our sponsor. This is Nonprofit Fundraising Management, where they focus on modern fundraising to help Black churches and Black nonprofits thrive. They do everything from cases for support to grant writing to communications, which are e-newsletters, monthly mailers, social media, as well as galas or fundraisers. They do grant writing, board development, just about everything you need in terms of fundraising. They actually become, or I should say, we become your fundraising department. So let us know if there's anything that we can help you with. We not only coach you, but we also roll up our sleeves and do the work. So if you'd like to reach us, you can reach us at wearenfm.com. That is wearenfm.com, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you. So now that you know the real ROI of DIY versus the expert ROI of fundraising consultants, do you feel like you can use them now? Is that something that you might want to look into? Leave your answers in the comments below. We'd love to understand what your thoughts are on this now that you know this information. And as promised, if you would like our ROI Reality Check Framework checklist, again, it's still a mouthful, please email us at info@wearenfm.com. That's info@wearenfm.com. And that will help you decide whether or not you're ready to work with a nonprofit consultant or not. It has all the questions that you should ask, thoughts, and comments about the concerns of working with a fundraising consultant. As always, thanks for watching our video. I hope you found it helpful. And if so, please make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And more importantly, please share this video with at least 2 individuals that you know that it could help, because our goal is to make sure we all grow together as a community. And if we hoard this information, few of us will know it and the others will not. So please share this information so we can all grow as one. Oh, and make sure you come back next Tuesday to check out episode 6. It talks about how to hire and budget for a fundraising consultant. And make sure you check out episodes 1 through 4 linked up here. And then finally, make sure you continue to lead with purpose, walk in miracle territory, and make sure you continue to impact your community positively. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again.